Are we going to do the roll?
Yeah, we're just going to keep rolling. Just like last week, right? We're rolling, baby.
We're rolling. This is...
Straight out of one studio into another, end of another week of the Archie and Donny Power Breakfast. How fun.
This has been a enormous week.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been big, man. Like the amount of guests that we've had on our show this week. We always have lots of interviews, but man, the caliber of people that we've had. And in the same time, we've been like trying to tell this story the whole time about how we're destined and we are determined to get the Townsville Crocs back into the NBL.
Yes.
It's been a big week of, and for you probably as well. Like, I'm saying it's been a big week for me in radio, and I'm used to interviewing people all the time, but just the standard of guests that we've had has been pretty remarkable, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, have a look at your floor because I'm about to drop some names here. Andrew Gaze.
Yes.
Andy Lee. I mean, Andy Lee. Childhood hero of mine, Andy Lee.
Yep.
And obviously Gorge, the head coach of the Boomers, came on.
Brian Gorgian, yep.
And
he came on the chart.
The OG Croc Sean, which is a local legend.
Yes.
And today we capped it off with the CEO of the NRL. What the hell? What?
Next week's going to be shit.
Dude, next week. Oh, we had my ex-wife on as well.
Oh, yeah, on Valentine's Day. So I'll throw Valentine's Day into the middle of all this other arrangements.
Yeah. I mean, next week I'm thinking about getting Biden on.
Should we go? Maybe Trump?
Yeah, maybe Trump. Hey, you got to be partial, right? So
you got to get both.
Sorry.
We can't just have the Democrats. We got to have the Republicans. It's been massive.
It's been a really weird week, and what we've learnt is, I think you and I are personable enough that when we do pick up the phone and ask if someone wants to come on, it's just surprising that they say yes. And I guess that's like a big life thing, right? I just assume forever, I don't know, you self-doubt yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know unless you ask. And we didn't get a lot of no's this week from anyone, really.
No. And the thing is, to pull the curtain back a little bit, normally at a radio station, you would have producers who would help chase up all these interviews, but we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
We are a two-man show, and we've got to both utilise friends, contacts, anyone who could help us this week.
Yeah.
I've had to lean on a few radio colleagues of mine to help us get some of the big basketball names that we've had on the show to help get some support around this idea of us bringing the Townsville Crocs back. But, I mean, I was blown away. I rang Andrew Gaze on Saturday last week by just getting given his number by a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Called him out of the blue. I didn't even text him beforehand.
Yeah.
And on, I think, the 6th dial, he goes, "Hello, Andrew speaking." I'm like, "Hey, is this Andrew Gaze?" And then immediately, I feel like when you do that to someone, the first thing you think of is they might think you're a telemarketer.
Yeah.
So, I already had in my head the script. I'm like, "Hey, Andrew, your number was given to me by a radio colleague of mine. I'm a breakfast radio announcer, you see." And then I feel like, as you said that really quickly, they then understand, okay, this is a radio bit.
Yeah.
And I did the same for the Boomers head coach, Brian Gorgian, who is the biggest name in Australian basketball from the coaching perspective as well.
And is going to Paris in a couple of months. Is in lockdown stage for the Australian team. Obviously, the team hasn't been selected, but he's been doing a lot of work as far as combing through all the... he's in Paris mindset. You know what I mean? He's not exactly on holidays.
No, and the NBL's into the crunch stage right now. The last week is this weekend before the finals. So he's watching everybody to make sure he knows what side he's taking to Paris.
Yeah.
But when I rang him, I mean, I spoke to Andrew for quite some time, but Brian was he was telling, once I told him about this idea we're trying to do here about bringing the Crocs back, he was all for it, thought it was great, spoke passionately about the league and where it's at. But he also gave me all these local names of the basketball community, people here in Townsville, most notably the Froling family. Yep. There's Shane, who's the dad. There's 4 kids. Sam, I can't remember there's 2 girls and 2 boys. And he was just telling me all about the history of them. And sometimes you get so surprised when you ring these people and then they're so generous with their time that they're not just trying to shoo you off the phone like, mate, I'll do the interview. Call me whenever. Yeah. They actually, he really wanted to help, I suppose.
Yeah. It was, it's just crazy. And then Gorge, the way that he was talking, if you're an NBL fan, like a diehard fan, knowing who he is, he just gives off this aura like, God, you'd love to be in the back corner of a pub with him for a couple of hours.
Oh, yeah.
Just the way he was telling these stories, he just you know so much. You could dispel so much knowledge about basketball onto the people that he picks to go to Paris are in safe hands. You know?
Big time.
It's exciting times for Australian basketball. It's like completely frank, not something I'm completely across, but I keep an eye on most sports. When I was down in Brisbane, I loved going to Bullets games.
Yep.
But just to see the passion for it, even in a city that doesn't have a team, it's definitely. Yeah, I feel like we're scratching the surface of something here.
Definitely. And, it's nice for them as well because they, the NBL and basketball, it needs as much attention as it can possibly get. It's such a highly participated sport. I've been down to the basketball centre here in Townsville a fair bit. My old neighbour, her daughter actually plays down there. We did a stop there last year actually on the show with heaps of cans, trying to open them all at the same time. And we're actually... Power 100 is actually painted onto the court.
And we're on the front door too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So we've got a really good relationship with the basketball community here. So what's blown my mind this week is that the high-profile people have been up for the fun of us.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the Crocs back. We've still got the Hungry Jack sign from one of the stores up here. Hostage, we've got it in the studio.
Yep.
Listeners are involved. Listeners have been calling us all week, telling us their stories about... I mean, you actually brought it up today when we actually had the Croc, the guy who was in the outfit. All the listeners that are ringing up, no one talking about, I remember this buzzer beat up in round 20 in 2008. It's all been about, I remember when the mascot did this, which just shows how much of an entertainment value this guy brought to it. And tracking him down was harder than getting Andrew Gaze on the show.
On the show, yeah. Well, I think that's the big thing about sport. And I love sport so much. It's taken up such a massive chunk of my life. And the thing that gets me when you're at a party and someone just making fun of the fact that people like sport. You know that guy?
The worst.
But when you talk to these people, it's not about the blokes playing the game. It is. We want to see the teams win, obviously.
Yeah.
But all the stories that you're hearing, once it's all said and done, the community value that a sports team brings to a city is unmatched. That's why when you go to small towns, they're at the Queensland Cup games. They're at the local footy games because the community aspect of the sport, that's what matters. When you talk to old blokes that used to stand on hills and drink a beer, they're talking about that, not about the players that came through the gates. Because the players come and go, right?
Yeah.
But the team and getting around it as a community, that is what is so, so important about sport. And that's what all the stories have been about how fun it was at the Swamp, about the Croc himself, about, even stories about how getting out of the parking situation at the entertainment was rough, but at least we had so many good memories from inside the building to get us through it. And it's just, I think it gets lost on people that don't completely give themselves over to the idea of community and sport. But that's why I feel like we've been able to scratch a bit of traction with this. It's not about, we're not saying we want the Crocs back so they can win a championship. We want the Crocs back so we all have somewhere to go as a community group and watch something fun, Not that the Cowboys don't offer that, but to have two, Yeah,
I mean, it's a big enough city to have two.
Yeah.
And we've got the facilities here. It's not like the exhibition centre and the entertainment centre is being used crazily amounts. I mean, it's a touchy subject as well because, we're really trying to harp on all the positives of it. Of course we are. That's our job, but also all the stories we get are like that. There are, of course, stories about the darker days. And, of course, at the end of the day, we're talking about a professional team that doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Exactly.
And a lot of, unfortunately, people will remember the last days rather than the good days. And we've been trying to celebrate the great days on the show. But you're so right. And hearing, we had Sean, this guy who was here, who was the mascot, hearing the stories about how it came to be, but also all the shenanigans that he used to get up to, was just, you could tell how excited he was talking about it.
Yeah, because it was funny trying to track down Sean. Turns out he was just on holidays. But
no, he was just working in Sydney.
Right, he was working, right.
Yeah.
We thought that he was this enigma.
So did I, yeah.
That you couldn't get your hands on. We're like, how have we got Gorge? How have we got Gaze? But the Croc eludes us.
Yeah.
It was this search for this guy. You called out everyone in Townsville trying to get this guy. Then as soon as we got him, he's like, I'd bloody love to talk about the Crocs.
Yeah. He brought his Croc outfit in to us, which was awesome. We took a great photo with him. He even gifted us. He brought this whole bag. He had a treasure chest of Crocs gear. And he's actually gifted us a Crocs jersey and shorts as well.
And signed them.
Yeah, he signed them as well, which is cool. And I love that the shorts he's given us, they're custom shorts for the Croc outfit. They've got a huge button-up, in those old-school pajamas, like you see on kids' TV shows where, there's, a flap at the back for your bum. His shorts have a perfect little gap for the big tail that would have come out of the back of them.
Yeah.
So, and we even just today, we haven't even aired this yet, but there was a woman who rang us whose mum made the croc outfit, and she rang up because her mum has sadly passed away, but she wanted to remind the community that there was somebody else who actually made that suit. It wasn't like off at eBay, a general like shop, which is amazing. And when you're hearing these stories, I don't know about you, I think we're definitely in the same camp, but man, it's pretty remarkable how much this team meant to the city. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting FOMO about the fact that I wasn't involved.
I can't believe Hungry Jack's hasn't got in touch yet.
I cannot believe it, mate. It is mind-boggling. There's no way they are not aware. You know what I mean? So it's only a matter of time before they do get involved.
Has to be.
It's not. This isn't an if thing.
Yeah.
This is definitely a when thing. It is a bit. It's just surprising.
Yeah.
To me that they haven't got involved just yet. I mean, the Hungarian embassy is involved. Do you know that? Of course you do know this, but I didn't really put two and two together that Hungary and Hungary are spelt different.
Yes, you did know that.
I didn't know that.
No, come on, man. Please don't do this to me.
It wasn't at the front of my mind that when we were trying to give we called the Hungarian embassy and tried to give them the top of the sign that says Hungary.
But if it
didn't even click to me. I'm like, it wouldn't even be spelt right.
Yeah, that was the joke, mate. That was the joke.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because otherwise it wouldn't be the Hungarian embassy. It'd be the Hungary embassy. Like, you wouldn't say...
Yeah,
you wouldn't say it that way, would you?
Yeah, you learn something new every day. I think I did know that you don't spell hungry, but I guess caught up in the Hungry Jack saga, I just was giving myself over to the hungry.
So we're trying to get interested other buyers in this sign. I still cannot believe that there are a lot of people who work for Hungry Jacks in their marketing divisions, and the fact that they haven't even got on the phone to us, an email, a Instagram direct message to say, hey, love to chat.
Like the video.
Get the sign back. We need it. Could save us a few.
And it's not like we're not putting our best foot forward. It's not like we're in some shed somewhere with these videos. Like, there's production value.
There is high production value, yes. It has been so unusual. I've been so enthused this week by it. It's been so refreshing that the high-profile people we've spoken to, when we've told them about the idea, they've been so into it.
Yeah.
They love the fun of it. Anything to get the Crocs back, to start these conversations. I mean, Andrew Gaze was gold, saying that he would even speak to the owner of Hungry Jack's about the boys doing brekkie up in Townsville. They've got something you need, Jack. Give them their team back, and then it's all fine. But you know what's been nice?
That's the white whale, Jack Cowan.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the white whale.
I mean,
we need.
We've heard that he's quite eccentric, so... Is it out? Look, after this week, is it out of the realm to speak to him? Maybe not.
We'll try and put him in after 8 after we get the Pope on.
I'd love to get like a really angry, nasty call from him. Like, boys, give me back my property. Well, you come and get it, mate.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
And bring the Crocs with you.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we hear from them soon. But yeah, there's so much been going on. And like, we get off the air at 9 and then we've been desperately trying to, people are busy. They might not get to hear the radio show every single day.
Yeah.
And we've been doing our absolute best to get videos out of, anything that kind of helps tell this narrative of the week, because it's just been evolving. I mean, it's evolving day by day, and we don't actually know what's going to happen on Monday either. But
we got a call today, someone asking, what's your backup plan? I'm like, bro, we've got one plan, and it's getting the Crocs back. There is no backup plan at this stage. This is ever growing and ever evolving, not by the day, by the hour.
Got to say, Josh in Mount Low, there isn't necessarily a playbook. When you hijack and take hostage a sign from a fast food restaurant, these are your backup plans. No, Josh. There's only one plan, and we think we came up with it.
I think, like, a peek behind the curtain, this is not a situation that's been tabled to the group. This is Archie and Donny riding this horse alone.
Yeah.
We haven't gone to a think tank and been like, so we're thinking about stealing a sign, and hopefully in return for the sign, this could happen and this could happen. It's just kind of just evolved on its own.
Yeah. And there's been some naysayers, but that's okay.
Yeah, Paul and Gulliver.
Paul and Gulliver, honestly.
Eat your heart out.
I know. Rings us and tells us that the Crocs are crap. Well, Paul, you're crap. We told it to his face. It's
crap chat, Paul.
But when we told him that, maybe he's just saying that to light a fire under us, because he knows that the more people that say you can't do this, the more we want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just been such a big week. Yeah, it's just been a perfect storm of yeses, I think is how you'd describe it.
Yeah.
Just a perfect storm of yeses. Even got like we said, my ex-wife to say yes to come on the show.
That was good, man. We got her on for Valentine's Day.
I got a fair few messages about that.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, from people close to me. Asking if I was okay.
Do your mates think I went too far?
It's always funny when they go, "Did you know that Archie was going to say that?" I'm like, how would I know Archie's going to say that?
Well, I could have shown you the poem
I know,
first.
but I think it's so cute. It's so fun that they think that anyone here thinks that we rehearse the show. Like, but also, I don't know because I've never worked on another show, but sometimes
So far.
Sometimes we will say to each other, like, say if we got a daily tradie, sometimes we'll be like, this is the headline, and we go, oh, okay, cool. A lot of, like, the funnest thing about the show is when the other one chooses not to divulge what they're about to do.
100%.
Because then you're learning at the same time as the listener. And
Yes.
normally, if I was to not tell Archie what I'm about to say, if he doesn't tell me what he's about to say, you know it's going to be a banger. Like, because otherwise we'd be like, I've got this idea. But if we don't take it to the other person on the show,
Definitely,
and we just run with it, it's going to be gold. And that was a situation where, no, that wasn't ran past me.
I'm glad it was received well. I did think, like the last line was risky.
Yeah, the
raising a glass and Shah letting you do things to her.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that was not the original line.
Oh, really? You freestyled that?
No, I didn't freestyle it. When you left on Tuesday, you and removalists came, so you're at home helping them get you to move in. I wrote the poem and I read it out loud, and Wildy, our afternoons announcer, was sitting opposite me, and the original line was, so here's to Charlotte's raise a glass, who finally found some peace at last.
Right.
And it was our definitely non-PC old radio veteran Wildy in his 57th year of life who said, oh, why didn't you make a joke about her ass? And I said, I don't know if I could say that because it's going to happen after 8. You know, we are allowed to push the envelope on Power 100, but we also have to play by the rule of kids could be in the car, but we can still be clever about it.
Yeah.
And then, just not saying the word and letting listeners say it was a way around that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get I haven't seen a complaint come yet. Maybe there was one. I don't know.
No. The only complaint that came this week was during a story I had on a Tuesday when we play Am I the Archie? We're talking about I was talking about my mates coming up for All-Stars weekend. There's 5 mates coming up. And how they're not all going to fit in my house. Am I being unreasonable by just assuming that they might have gone to a hotel instead of coming to stay with me? And we got a few calls everyone laid in, but what I loved is we got an email, which normally, like, to email the show, that's where complaints go.
I'm trying to find it.
And it was...
Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, read it out.
Yeah, we can read it out in the podcast. So this came through, after you said...
Minutes after.
After you said, you don't have enough beds for your 5 mates coming up. Should they stay in a hotel? Someone who we don't even know if it's 2 people, but Steve and Jess is the name. This email comes through. Toughen up, princess. If they are making the effort and big spend to get here, stop being a pussy and fork out for some blow-up mattresses. They're going to need a little other bedding. I was wrapped when 10 mates and wives came up for my 50th.
Yeah. What's there to say?
You got called a pussy.
I love that because it came through to... We don't get those emails. They have to be flicked onto us. So it went through the main mailbox. And Jackie, who works in the office, flicked it through while we're on air. Has this got something to do with what you're talking about? Like, God, you'd hope so.
Yeah. I don't know why we should actually be able to get emails. We used to be able to do that.
Maybe they do it to hide it from us.
Yeah, maybe. We don't get told about all the complaints unless they're really serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shah was great. She was great when she came on, your ex-wife.
Yeah,
she laughed.
It's always good value, especially we have, like, due to the shake-up in the city right now, we have new ears. So there's people that haven't heard Shah, and it's always an interesting... Like, we do get along fine. Like, I mean, we are ex-husband and wife, so we get along to a degree, you know what I mean? But it's always funny when you go, oh, we've got Shah on. I go, oh, Jesus. And in the car, that shock value is insane. Like, I'll have you know, I don't know if you do know, Shah's dad listens every day.
Does he?
Every day.
What's his name?
His name's Rick.
Ricky.
So he listens every day.
Sticky Ricky.
So he heard you mention the thing about my ex-wife's ass. So.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
But
oh my god, can we get him on the show?
Oh, we absolutely could probably get him on the show.
Have you heard from him since the Valentine's Day poll?
No, I haven't heard from him.
You're saying.
But with Rick, I remember another time we did a story about Shah's dating someone that had the same name.
Yeah.
And she had dinner that night with her parents, and he goes, who's Donny?
That is crazy. You know, Lucy, my fiance's, her sister Jem, happily married for, I think they've been married for about 6 years.
Yep.
They got 2 kids, right? Her partner before her current husband, his name was Nikki, and Nikki's mum still will be the first person to wish Jem happy birthday. She will send Jem, Lucy's sister, birthday presents. Like, she's so still heavily invested in her son's ex-girlfriend's life. It is weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just, it must be hard for parents when they're like, oh, you know, I really like that guy.
Yeah. Like, it is weird that we were together for 10 years. Obviously, we shared a lot of time together. So it is a weird one. I've spoken to her mum since we've broken up. It's not weird. That's the weirdest thing about we don't play a lot up on this show. We are like our true selves, but this fractured relationship with me and my ex-wife, like it is awkward, like airing out your laundry on air. There's no bones about it. But she's not this evil witch that we sometimes... We've stopped playing the Darth Vader music, I've realised.
That's just because I can't find it anymore. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, this time you played the Hallelujah music. I was like, wow, Archie's done a 180 on the ex-wife.
That's true. I didn't really think about that.
It is always funny whenever he needs to get her on, it goes through Archie's channels. He goes, don't mind me, I'm just texting your ex. I'm like, yeah, good gear, mate.
I'll be honest. I was genuinely a little bit nervous about about delivering that line.
Yeah.
Because obviously there is absolutely no truth to that story. It was a completely fabricated claim, but it was entertainment value.
Yeah.
But I haven't felt that nervous about doing a bit on the radio since I had Lucy's dad on the show. He was here in October last year. Obviously flew in all the way from London for a week. Promised him that he could come on the show. Hey, look, I was doing the show solo. I would agree to anybody who was willing to come on the show and fill up a gap.
Gulliver could have got her on that week.
Oh, Paul from Gulliver could have co-hosted for the whole hour and a half. But I asked him on live radio, and I kind of worded it cleverly, but I did like a 5-question thing with him, and I asked him, like, it was like perfect partners, and I had Lucy's pre-recorded answers. So I asked him, innocently first, what was her favourite food as a kid? When's her birthday? And then it very quickly escalated and ramped up to the point where the last question, I was shitting myself, but I was like, you know what? I'm putting entertainment over my personal life right now. What would a very good radio jock do in this moment?
Yeah.
So I asked him when Lucy lost her V plates. For anyone playing at home, a very, I guess, juvenile way of saying... virginity.
A very after 8 a.m. way of saying virginity.
Yeah. And the penny, he didn't get it at first, and then the penny just dropped. He goes, oh, goodness gracious. Answer the question. And I had pre-recorded Lucy saying, I'm never going to answer that, which is great. I have not felt as nervous since that moment to say that line. I was nervous.
We've had her on in the past. I'm sure you've pizzled me before.
I know, but it's always been a bit more like, how can she stick the boot into you or whatever? And also, pretty out of line, what I kind of was alluding to. But, I thought it was... I wouldn't have done it if I probably didn't think she'd be able to laugh about it.
Yeah.
Which she did.
She's a great sport.
She was a great
sport.
And, mate, how did you feel on Friday, today? We had the CEO of the NRL on the show. You are an absolute diehard rugby league fan. I like rugby league. I love rugby league. Not nearly as much as you do. This is your absolute pinnacle sport. And you organise this interview yourself. Great get. Speaking to the CEO of one of, if not the biggest code in the country. Yeah. How did that feel for you?
It was bizarre, dude. The whole experience was bizarre because we got the CEO of the NRL via the chairman of the ARL, Peter V'landys. Somehow got onto Peter V'landys' phone, sent him a message saying, hey, would you like to come on the show to talk about All Stars? He said, Andrew will do it.
Fob it off to the secretary.
And I'm like, okay, Andrew Abdo will come on instead, the CEO of the NRL. Okay, great. And I'm not the guest guy. I'm not nearly as well connected as Arch. So I was really stressing because we had a few other NRL type interviews fall down in the past. So I was stressing all morning. I'm like, I hope he calls. Message the media guy again, being like, we were scared to hook it because I was like, I'm sure he'll come on, but like, who knows, And It was cool. And what was wild is my mates are up here for All-Stars. And the only thing they saw us really do was me interview the CEO of the NRL. It's just like, for them, I'm like, yeah, this is just a Friday, mate. Like,
so Donny actually had them in the studio with us because they were visiting and, they wanted to see Donny in action, I suppose. And so, I mean, I thought it was just a great flex from you.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I kind of think you knew your friends were coming in after 8:30. I think you intentionally organised the interview for that time. I think this is all the way for you to look like the big man. Is there any truth behind that?
There isn't, but I was happy. They did say, should we go get breakfast and then come or come first? I'm like, well, come first. But look,
great.
Getting the chance to interview, you can't go much higher in the game unless you're getting players, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's the pinnacle. And he had time for us.
Yeah.
We went long. Like, we went over time. He had time to chat, and he didn't really shy away. Like, the big burning question I had was about the rule changes coming in this year. He was more than happy to tackle it, and in fact, we probably could have asked him a few more hairy questions. He was very well spoken.
Yeah, he was
Obviously,
great.
he is. He's the NRL CEO.
Yeah, he was great, and it was obviously he's a professional, but it was kind of nice as well to hear him. You asked him, sorry, you wrote the question, but we asked him like, why did they bring the All-Stars game to Townsville, where we live? And it was great to hear why. Like, they know that this is rugby league heartland. They know that people love footy up here. They know that there's nothing else to compete with it on this particular weekend. So it was actually really cool for him to like toot the trumpet of Townsville for a little bit. And hopefully it's just a sign of things to come. I mean, for Townsville, we've got the All-Star game this weekend, and then in just a few short weeks, Pink's coming. Which is obviously, we wouldn't play it on Power, but she it's a huge superstar. I know she did a show in Newcastle the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know outside of Newcastle how many other like outside capital city shows she's
I don't
doing.
believe there's any.
So there we go. Like, very, very cool. I'm really excited. We're going to be down there tonight. Your first ever game
At Country Bank.
At Country Bank. You got your mates up here. It's going to be really good. We're just hoping, as we look out the windows here, there are plenty of grey skies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Hopefully
where I
it doesn't
booked
rain.
the tickets if I'm like, see how good the roof is at Country Bank.
I have no idea where I'm sitting tonight. Not with you, because you originally
What's
offered.
funny is I've got 2 spare
direct
tickets now. That's what's funny.
Well, I might need them to get into the ground, because if truth be told, we've got a family ticket.
Oh, okay.
I was given tickets by a friend. We were going with them. They then pull out for family reasons, fine.
Yeah.
But then I also get, by the way, I think these are accidentally are family tickets.
Accidentally.
So now I've brought 2 friends with me. If we don't get in, I might have to call you up on those 2 spare tickets, mate, to get us all into the ground.
I guarantee you're getting in.
You don't think we've got a problem?
No problem. Have you ever seen anyone check any kind of ticket? Like, other
I don't know.
sign goes green and you walk on through.
Yeah. I thought maybe like the kids one, after you sign into the ground, maybe it goes like purple or something to alert them. It's different. I don't know.
That would be smart.
It would be.
I've never seen it, but
I might have to wear a hat. It's pretty obvious I'm not a baby.
yeah, just walk on, jump on Lucy's back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's if you need the tickets, they're there.
Cool.
I'm excited. Country Bank will be fun.
That should be good. All right. Are we done?
I think that's our show.
Yep.
I think that's our show on a wrap. Time for the weekend.
Time for the weekend, and will we get the Crocs back? Who knows?
Bye-bye.